Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. It's kind of spooky out here this morning. Look at the fog. It's morning chores time before we eat. The animals eat every morning after we get up. And first we got to take care of the laying hens. Coming out to get their breakfast. I think this hose needs to see the urologist. BPH?
Yeah, benign prostatic hypertrophy.
I thought it was hyperplasia. Hypertrophy. Morning, bulls. But you want something to eat, don't you? Ezra, it's about time for breakfast, isn't it? Where you been all night? You're all wet. You're all wet. You were out tomcatting again, weren't you? Howdy, Brownie. Howdy, little boogers. You guys keep walking in your water. No, that's not cool. Go ahead, you guys can get a drink. Howdy, John. How are you doing, big bud? Oh, don't bite me. How are you doing? Some for Mom, although the piglets have been getting in here too. Some for piggies. There you go. You guys can come and eat. And the little broiler chicks, about a week old. Turkey poults for the year coming in about a week. We've got the little pullets in here who like to freak out. They've got to get used to their new home, and then they'll calm down as they get older. The final job of morning chores is to go out and check on the cattle, who are munching on hay and yelling at me. I got nothing else for you guys. I know. You yearlings always get in the bell ring. You little buggers. Get out of there. Come on. Come on. Out you go. Come on. Come on. Come on. I don't like it when they get in there because they pee and poop on the hay and then nobody will eat it. Who is that yelling at me? Howdy, little calves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 must be snoozing in the grass someplace. Doc, you were the one yelling at me. You should know better than that. Ah, Patty. I wouldn't expect less out of you. There's calf number 6 right back there, next to his mom. Hey, little ones. Hi, Coco. You have a nice calf this year. You always have a nice calf. He's right over there. What do you guys want? I know you want pasture, but we don't have any. We gotta wait for the grass to grow. It's getting awfully dry here. This is our next cow in line to have a calf. Tulip. Tulip, how you doing? Your bag's getting there. You're gonna be another mom soon. Then it's in for us to eat breakfast. Well, 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 what's up today? We're gonna get the old H out and do some work. Oh, but first, before we do that, I wanted to show you this new floor that I put in the cattle pen here. This one side, I'm gonna do the other side, shift the bulls over. Anyway, it works really well for cattle flooring, and I'll show you what it is. This is what's called in New York State anyway, New York Department of Transportation Item 4, and it's a mixture. It goes from silt through sand all the way up in gradation to stones that are about this big, and it can come in either a gravel form with round stones like this, or it can come in a crushed stone form. And I found that it's super for putting on the floor of cattle barns. In the early days when I was using a bucket loader to take out manure, inevitably a little bit of the floor would come with it, but with the manure bucket I have now, it just falls through and stays in there. Works really well. So 2 or 3 years ago I built up this floor, but I didn't build it up far enough. With compaction it came down a little bit. Now I've got it built up so that it drains to the back of the barn. Building up the driveway this spring even raised the front up higher, so I put quite a bit in. Once the bulls finish this bale of hay, I'll move them over into this bay and then clean out that bay and fill that too. It makes for a really nice surface. I think better than concrete. I always worry about cattle slipping on concrete. Yes, I know you can put grooves in it and all that, but it's a hard surface and it can be slippery and it's expensive. This is really cheap. I think it cost about between $100 and $150 for a 20-ton load. But anyway, back to what we were going to do here. mess everything up. Then we gotta go up here. Should I go through the little, I really like going through that door. I don't know, I'll go through the big door. In my most holy Farmall parts pile, I have a swather. We're gonna need that. I gotta put the swather on because I was mowing under fence rows with it last time, and I take the swather off for that so it doesn't get caught in the fencing. This is an International Model 120 sickle bar mower, 7-foot bar. And this is what's known as a balanced head sickle bar mower. Instead of a pitman arm that rotates off of a pulley up here and shakes the sickle bar back and forth, it's got a wobble box, just like my haybine does. It's got this mysterious mechanism inside of it that converts the rotating pulley motion to move the bar back and forth. I used to mow all of our hay with just this rig, the Model H and the 120 sickle bar mower, and this sickle bar mower works like a dream. I completely tore it apart and went through it probably in our second year of farming. Painted everything up, all new parts on the bar. I love using it. It doesn't take much horsepower. It's quiet, just a snip, snip, snip. So we're going to use it to mow a field today. Got to grease her up first. Of course, there's a ton of grease fittings on here. Make sure to get them all. I got to take care of this little repair I made to the shoe out in the field the last time I was mowing. Fencing wire has a million uses. And of course, I don't have the right size carriage bolt laying around, so we'll just use this, you know, temporary for a few years until I think of it again. Check the fuel with my patented Farmall gas gauge here. She needs some. Hey, why couldn't the sailor learn his alphabet? Because he kept getting lost at sea. That would make it pretty hard. Well, there wasn't much in that can. I got some more in the dummy-proof can here. These tanks take forever to empty, and they're a real pain in the butt. I don't like them. There's no vent hole. I think I'll drill a hole in here and put a screw in and make my own vent hole. Goofy. Oh, I forgot my watch. I wonder what Shania Twain's doing right now. Derek. I wonder what Frank Zappa's doing right now. Oh, that's right. I know what he's doing right now. Huh. Howdy, cows. You guys are all standing on the hill in the shade. Why are you guys looking at me? We gotta go into this field right here. Operational check. Check. We're gonna go slow here to get around the fence post. Get nice and close to the fence post, so I take my time. Okay, here we go. Edges are all done, turned around, and mowing in the field. Sure is nasty looking stuff. Let's get down and take a look at this. Throughout this field, we've got a lot of dead, mostly orchard grass that's gone yellow, and then a little bit of undergrowth coming up through. Why am I doing this? Why don't I just let this stuff stand? Well, it's one of those things where if you ask 10 farmers what to do with a field like this, you'll probably get 10 different answers. This field was the last that we grazed, so it got way ahead of us during the spring flush. And now it's gone quite dry here, so growth of everything is really slowed down. The reason I'm doing this is to get all of this dead stuff on the ground so it can help insulate the ground during the dry weather and help keep moisture in the ground. In addition, slowly it'll rot down and feed the soil and help the soil in the field. Yes, I could take this off as a very poor quality hay, but remember, whenever you take something off a field like hay, you got to replace it with something else. And when the hay is this crappy, about all I could use it for is bedding, I prefer to mulch it back into the field by cutting it with a sickle bar. Now that brings up something else. You could also use a rotary mower or brush hog to mow this field down, and that would chop some of the stems up better. I have a brush hog, it's 4 foot wide. Take me about 2 days to mow this field, and yes, I could get a bigger brush hog. I've done this way for quite a while and had really good luck just mowing with the sickle bar mower. I get some of the best second growth of the season on fields that we call it clipping around here, clipped like this. In addition, it helps keep the weeds down. So all of our fields get mowed, even the pastures, at least once a year, because that helps keep the weeds from spreading, especially if you get them before they go to seed. Like this thistle I chopped down right here. We have very little weed growth in our fields, and that thistle, you know, mowing it won't kill it, but it slows it way down, and the grass will outcompete it over time if you keep the weeds down, keep them from spreading. So that's why I'm mowing it, and I have the added bonus of running the H in the sickle bar mower, which is just such an awesome combination. I love running this H. Third gear for now. Hey, here comes Hillary.
Your parts are here.
Oh, my parts for the MD. Aren't you guys happy my parts are... Patty, aren't you guys happy my parts are here? She nodded her head. Let's see what we got here. Oh, a nice note. Replacement push rod used. New set of 8 valve guides. Valve spring, the retainer that goes on top of the spring, new valve, and a new head gasket. All parts for the MD. My opinion has changed on what to do with this head. After looking at the way that this valve was ground, the one that came out, it's a poor job. I pulled one of the valve springs and the valve wiggles in the guide. My machine shop did a terrible job, and I've used them for years, and something happened. Their service stunk, and they did an awful job. So I don't have any faith in any of this now. The way the valves and the seats were ground, the way that the guides weren't replaced. They never ever said that the guides were loose. It came back with the springs on it. Of course, with machine shop, I couldn't tell. I got a whole new set of guides. I got all these other parts, and I'm taking them to some place that I think will do a little bit of a better job for me. I've got the head and all the old parts and the new parts loaded up in the truck. We are going to see David Richards, who has a machine shop in Newark Valley, New York. And he has a YouTube channel. You should look him up. Here we go. Route 38 Engine Machine Shop. Alright, the head is in process. I hadn't met David Richards before. His YouTube channel is just David Richards. He showed me around his shop. He's got, you know, kind of a regular machine shop in the front, and he does automotive and tractor work, and then in the back he has a steam powered machine shop with everything driven. He's got a boiler and then the steam engine, and then everything's driven off pulleys that run around the ceiling, you know, the lathe and milling machine and all the machines that you need for basic machine work. It's pretty cool. So he said it would take 10 days, 2 weeks to put new valve guides in the head, possibly regrind the valves, and check everything out. Good deal. Be done right this time. What are you doing, you crazy calves? Oh, here's one pulling up the rear. They tend to stay together. My day got hijacked again. I was planning on having a nice peaceful afternoon riding on the H and the Sickle bar mower and finishing up this field. As it is, I only made 3 or 4 passes around it. I'll have to finish it tomorrow. I guess both luckily and unluckily, there's no rain in the forecast. It's supposed to be just like today tomorrow, high in the mid 80s and mostly sunny. We need rain badly. I am more happy though than finishing the field to get the MD head to the machine shop and get that in the works. I'm thinking I can get that back together pretty quick. Once I get into something, I kind of want to finish it. So the mower will be here tomorrow morning and I'll be mowing again. This video kind of had something for everyone. It had animals, it had some of the MD, it had some work in the field, so hopefully this one makes everybody happy. I don't know if that's possible. I hope you have a great day anyway, and I'll see you next time.